Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's edition of Valpo Basketball Preview, along with head coach Matt Loddick. I'm Todd Eichow, and today we'll start by taking a look back at a solid week, 2 wins. Thursday over Cleveland State, which was a relatively easy win. Saturday over Youngstown State, which was not as easy a win. But I think the one constant in both ball games was a great week for the bench. I thought you guys really stepped up. It was, I think, from my standpoint, I love seeing Lexus get more comfortable shooting the basketball. Kind of went through a shooting slump for about a month. And both games shot the ball well. And really in the first half, when Alec was out with foul trouble, Lexus gave you the big lift on Saturday.
Yeah, no doubt. First of all, never easy against Cleveland State. I just thought we played well and defended well. On Saturday, no doubt about it, I thought we lacked a little energy, especially just in some small stretches there in the first half a little bit, and then in the second half when they made their run. And bench production's been huge. I was searching for energy, especially on Saturday, and I thought Lexus provided a huge lift in the first half, and then really got us in position to set us up there in the second half to make a big run when we needed to.
And this happens, as you very well know. I understand it's never easy against Cleveland State, but it certainly looked easy on Thursday. And then in the first half, playing pretty much without Alec for much of the first half.
Yeah.
Early in the second half, you got a 14-point lead, and we see it at all levels in basketball. Things are going easy, an easy win. Now it looks like another easy win. And it just takes one sort of span where you lack energy and another team gains momentum. And you felt it as a player, certainly. When shots start going down, it snowballs.
Well, I think, basketball, number one, it's a game of runs. And so you can expect within the course of a game there to be multiple runs by teams. And good teams can sustain runs for longer and, thwart them when they're coming their way against them. So for us, it's funny because you get a big lead by really playing together, making the game simple, executing, rebounding, and you let teams back in when you don't do those things.
Right.
And so called a timeout, I think, with about 7 minutes to go, and just reminded our guys, look, we're playing out of character. We're not playing the way that got us this big lead, so let's just get back to the basics. And really for the remainder of the game, we did that.
I had mentioned the bench was good all week. It was a really good week for Jay Swaa off the bench. He played extremely well on Thursday. He played extremely well on Saturday. And what I thought stood out Saturday was late in the ballgame when you needed stops. He made defensive play after defensive play. His defense has really been exceptional all year. Obviously, the offense has come and gone. He's been getting more consistent, I think, offensively. But defensively, we're so used to what we had with Vachil Fernandez for 4 years. But Jay's providing a lot of the same things.
Yeah, and the thing, Jay can guard pretty much, anyone, the entire defensive possession. And, there were multiple times where he stopped drives and then got out and contested shooters and then picked up a rebound. And so when you have an active big guy like that with length and desire and ability to guard multiple positions, you can be a very good defensive team.
There was a play late in the game when the game was relatively close. There was a shot at the basket. He altered the shot. He went back on the other side and got in defensive rebounding position and got fouled. And the guy came over the back and tipped it in. They waved it out. And from watching the replay of that was like an NBA-type athletic play from a big man where they alter a shot on one side of the basket and get to the other side. That's not a normal thing for a freshman in college to do.
No, and the one thing about Jay, when he came in, his comfort level was defensively. And, we've tried to get him to think maybe a little more offensive, get him out of his comfort zone a little bit, and just to become more of a complete player. So he came in, very well coached, having a great understanding of how to play defense. And so, we're taking full advantage of that, and, we're going to continue to push the envelope on the offensive end, too.
This is interesting. I talked to Lou Bosch-Barton after the game, who spent a lot of years in Barcelona. He's well known in Barcelona. He said it is not unusual for kids who grow up in a system where they're playing on national teams and they're growing up playing with high-level coaching in Europe to have really good defensive concepts. Does that make sense?
Yeah, of course. We're seeing it firsthand now. Jay came to us and, really, for whatever reason, you look at him and you see kind of this imposing young man. He's big, he's strong. But he's also pretty sensitive.
Yeah.
And so, maybe had a lot of confidence there on the defensive end, lacked it a little bit on the offensive end. And so, we're trying to get him to think a little more out of the box. I think, one of the things that they've done a great job in Europe of doing is, developing a team. And I think Jay's role primary is you defend and you rebound. Well, we're trying to expand that role and get him to think that you could be more than just a defensive player and a rebounder.
Now let's look ahead now. You can look at the standings. You know the importance of the game on Friday. And you also know what took place back right around the start of the year against Oakland. They went through a stretch where they were not playing well. After the Valpo game, you look at their next 5 games, there's some bad scores in there. And now they seem to be righting the ship.
Yeah, I mean, look, a team's going to go through stretches where they play well and they don't. We really enjoy the opportunity to play Oakland. We like playing them at home. We love going up there to play. And it really has become a rivalry game. And this is why we play basketball. It's why we coach. And it's why young men come here to play, because they get to play in games like this.
What went wrong in the first meeting that has to change in this upcoming game?
I mean, we turned the ball over a lot. I think they shot it extremely well. And, so for us, we've got to just continue to take care of the basketball, not make mistakes that beat us, have a complete, team effort, bench production, rebound, try to limit some of their great players because they got a lot of them. And, anytime you're playing on the road, it's difficult. So we're going to go into a hostile environment, and I think we like it that way a little bit. It's only us, and we'll see. We'll give our best effort.
They did a real good job on Alec Peters in the first meeting with a smaller player on him. I think Sharon Walker, Dorsey Walker was on him in the first game. He's only about 6'4", 6'5". The smaller players in the past, I think, had given Alex some trouble, but more often in the last year and a half, he's beaten guys inside against smaller players. What did Walker do in the first meeting that made it difficult on Alec?
Well, he did a great job just from an individual standpoint, but they also, collectively game planned to try to take Alec away. And, the one thing he did is he got to the foul line. So when there's going to be so much attention, Alec's got to be a willing passer, which he was in the first game. Had a lot of assists, and we've got to have guys step up and make plays, and Alec will find ways to score. So we're not necessarily trying to game plan to get him shots and get him. He'll find those. And for us, it's how are we going to defend, how are we going to rebound, how are we going to limit their fast break opportunities, and really put together an offensive game plan where everyone's got equal opportunity.
One game at a time, I know you say, but Detroit on Sunday is an improved team as well. Yeah. They have shown the capabilities. When they came into Valpo, they played a pretty solid ball game. Since then, they've played mostly good games, very competitive games as well. So it's not just a one-game trip. There's 2 really good games coming up this weekend. Yeah,
and they pressure the heck out of the basketball, and they can get really hot from the outside. They pose a lot of threats. They have Hogan inside, who's one of the best offensive scorers in the low post in the league, and so for us, we're not going to take them lightly. Obviously, our main focus right now is on Oakland, and it'll be entirely on Oakland until after that game, and then we'll focus on Detroit. But it's never easy to play at Oakland. It's never easy to play at Detroit, and we understand the challenges that going on the road presents, and especially in these environments. And again, we're looking forward to the opportunity. We love playing in games like this.
It's going to be a fun weekend. Good luck.
Thank you.
For head coach Matt Loddick, this is Todd Eichow. Thanks for watching us on Valpo Basketball Preview.